Welcome back to the Hard But Worth It podcast. I'm Kirk. This is Mitch, and we're with Icon Coaching. We're still down at the GrowTech Fest, the largest tech conference north of Sacramento. And we're spending the day down here talking to people who have been on the stage and kind of bringing you into it. And right now we're with Arielle, who's tell us a little bit about your context. Where do you work? What did you start? What are you all about?
Well, thanks for having me. My name is Arielle Danan, and I'm the owner of the Bear Almond Milk. We're an almond milk company based in Chico, California. Started 11 years ago. It's just a one farmer's market and slowly grew from there and expanded across Northern California. And now you can find our organic almond milks between Chico and Santa Cruz, and trying to slowly expand out from there.
So maybe the most important question of the day today is going to be given to you here, but I thought this was a dead conversation here, but I literally was having a conversation with someone yesterday who pronounces it almond. And I'm hearing you say almond, I say almond. So real quick, let's just settle it.
Let's settle it.
Is it still an issue? Like, is it almond or almond? Because I know we're in like almond country here.
Yes. Well, I'm from Texas, so I say almond.
Almond.
But if I'm talking to an almond grower, I'll code switch and just say almond to be.
So
nice.
is it mostly the growers who
Yes.
still say almond? They're
Yes.
like that cohort, diehard.
That's right, yeah.
My mom grew up there, and I am forbidden from saying the word almond
Yeah.
for that reason. We say there are almonds on the tree and almonds everywhere else.
Exactly.
Yeah. So why almond milk?
Because in Butte County here, we are one of the top producers and growers of almonds in the world. And so I looked and saw no one was making a local almond milk, and there is a huge opening for that. So I kind of put two and two together, my love for making food and fresh products, and specifically fresh almond milk, with the fact that we have this local resource and no one else had jumped on it yet.
Yeah. And before that, like there was a business opportunity. I heard you speaking a moment ago on stage.
Yeah.
And you had talked about a story where, I mean, you're young now. So what, 10, 11 years ago?
Yes,
You were younger.
I was
You
younger.
were younger. But somewhere out of high school, you caught a vision, a passion, a drive, a story that really pulled you into understanding the business opportunity. What was that about? Because you didn't take the traditional form of going to college, university, business school. You caught a vision. What was that like?
Exactly. Yeah. So I graduated from Chico High in 2011, and I was accepted into some schools, into UC Berkeley, and chose to defer admission, which turned into permanently deferring admission. And I traveled abroad for a year. I worked on organic farms and wanted to learn about organic, sustainable agriculture hands-on. And I definitely picked up, a hard work ethic, a hands-on work ethic, and but more than anything, I came out of that experience just wanting to build something of my own, and separately had learned how to make almond milk while traveling abroad. Fell in love with that product, fell in love with the process, and making something that was so much better when done fresh. Came back to Chico after that year and put two and two together. So it came from a love of sustainable agriculture, a love for food, and a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
So you're mentioning hard work, and I think a lot of people do know that entrepreneurship is really hard. I'm wondering for you, what makes it worth it?
So I said this on stage a little bit, so I'll speak to that again, that for me these days, I really try to focus on the aspect of running a sustainable and socially aware business. So even though we're small, even though our team is only 20 people, how can I make this a good place for my employees in the ways that we are able to? The product is very important, and that's, at the core of what we do. But more importantly than that, trying to make it a good place to work. Mm-hmm. And that keeps me inspired and going on my harder days, for sure. Just thinking outside of myself.
I heard you talk about your product being premium. Mm-hmm. So I imagine that created some opportunity, but maybe some early on challenges in starting your business. Because when you start your business, you're just trying to get anyone and everyone to buy it. And so there's this conflict of, do I go cheaper and value to get more customers, or do I stay premium and know that that's a slower tick but maybe a higher ticket item?
Yeah.
How did you navigate some of those decisions? Because I think you probably had to face crossroads where you made decisions that kept leading you to, nope, we're going to be premium. We're going to be premium. This is a different path, maybe a harder path.
Yeah, certainly a harder path. Yeah, most food products are not made by the people who market them. They're mostly made in co-manufacturing situations by factories elsewhere. We chose to keep all of our production in-house, so it definitely is a harder route. There isn't almond milk equipment out there. We had to figure out how to scale this and how to produce it in-house. But it was all in the effort of maintaining the quality, because that is the thing that sets us apart from these other companies and makes people willing to pay a premium. So if we compromised on that, we would lose our edge. So yeah, it certainly wasn't the easier route, but I think it was the right one for us because we're able to maintain our presence as the premium option, the only almond milk bottled in glass, to be the local farm to bottle option, to be the one that's still made with just almonds and water. So when people try it, they can taste the difference, and I think that's, again, what sets us apart. So yeah, just sticking to our guns and not being willing to compromise.
Kirk and I work with a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs in what we do, and there's usually these moments that are they're kind of the quitting moment. There's these off ramps that come where you're like, maybe it's too hard, it's not worth it. Was there a moment where you could feel there was a big off ramp, kind of saying, maybe this isn't what I need to do, but in that it galvanized you to actually stay the course, and you broke through into kind of that next level of success? If so, what was that like? When was that like,
Yeah, there was definitely a decision moment at the end of last year where I sort of had to decide for myself, like, I'm either going to double down or I'm going to let this chapter close. And I decided to double down and invest in a whole new production line, because we had pretty much maxed out what we could do with fresh, unpasteurized almond milk. It had a 7-day shelf life, so we could only go so far with it. We were limited to a certain type of grocery store and mostly to farmers markets. In order to make that leap to a longer shelf life and being able to reach out to larger retailers, it was a huge investment in equipment. Our whole pasteurization line, our bottling line, and yeah, it was a risk for sure. And now we're in the part where we try to make it pay off.
Right. That's awesome. Sounds like your story is very much still unfolding. Is that right? Yeah,
definitely.
Well, we hope to see you here in the years to follow and see how that works out. We're really grateful you spent some time with us today.
Thank you guys so much.
Yep.